What is up, everybody? This is Geth Prime. Today I am going to take a small walkthrough, which is one of my childhood games since over close to 20 years, since the pre-alpha of 1998. Crash Team Racing, of course, became my childhood since I was a child. So, what I am going to talk about today is the trophy walkthrough guide, including the Whoa trophy. Right, so let's get to it. So, what the trophy difficulty is, in my personal opinion, and for people who like racing games and for those who are inexperienced. But I'm gonna start with the inexperienced. If you are one of those who hunt trophies and you don't have experience with racing whatsoever, just give yourself a 9.5 out of 10 for this, and I'll tell you why. And if you're experienced, give yourself an 8 or 7.5. Personally, for me, the difficulty wise is 6, because I find it pretty much challenging than I thought it would be. Even though I don't have Nitro Kart myself, or Tag Team Racing, because I don't like tag team racing, as I saw streams on about that game. I don't think I like Tag Team Racing, as I like the C and K, because I only got the C and K for Game Boy Advance, so there was not much dynamic about the GBA version, as they had Spyro, which was a good one, and Oxide, which was a buffed version of him. And the C&K console version looked pretty much better. So, and from my personal experience, I gave myself a 6 out of 10 to platinum the whole game. So, what I'm going to start with is the trophies that are in order, along with the platinum above. So, I'm going to start with Off to a Good Start trophy. You just gotta win your first race in adventure mode. Sounds self-explanatory enough. You can do it in nitro fueled, in any difficulty you want, or you could do classic mode, just like Crash Team Racing back in 1999. So it's pretty much easy. It's adventure mode only. It's not single player. And crazier than the Ripper. Winning a race against Ripperoo. The only rule is that if you're in nitro fueled and you're picking it on hard, he will indefinitely fire TNTs and beakers. I'm not sure if he fires beakers, but I know I could tell he definitely fires TNTs. But if he fires nitro boxes. Even though I seen nitro boxes he had in the Crash Bandicoot 2 encounter, because I was way in front of him. So defeating Ripperoo is not much of a challenge to experienced racers. And if you want to stay ahead of Ripperoo, try using and keep conserving your missiles and get 10-1 per fruit to get a steady aim. And if you want to save the last lap for the best, use a mask weapon and get into the shortcut, where in the last turn there is some mud and there are purple support beam things instead of a mushroom, which was shown in Rouge Tubes back in 1999 as those purple light support beams. And if you see this little gap in between it, you should be able to go across it, and Ripperoo will never go in there. So that is your huge advantage right there. And keep your boost out at the momentum. And now moving on into Me Fast You Slow is to defeat Papo. Papo is pretty tricky. He's a beaker, and sometimes he uses TNTs, so he throws beakers while you're at the racing line. And as for the hard mode, on sometimes medium in nitro fueled mode, he'll get red beakers instead. And as for easy and classic, it will always be green. Unlike the old school version, because the old he'll drop a red beaker sometimes, and it's kind of awkward that this is the most weird encounters for a boss for me, in my opinion. But he's not that hard, just you need to fight against his speed. That's all it needs to matter. And now for the third one, the third boss trophy, which is Commode Done. And this one for me was tricky on nitro fueled hard mode. I struggled a lot with him. He launches bowling bombs at the backwards, and then he uses TNTs to throw them instead. Unlike Ripperoo, he throws TNTs and he puts one nitro in one of the Minecart circle turns. So you gotta be careful where he throws the TNTs, because the only key weapon at the moment is your missiles. And be sure you get a mask as well if you're that lucky. So Commodore Joe is a real threat, and he will for this if you're going to be doing to get the Oxide trophy. And Pinstripe Potteroo, which is from Crash 1. Why don't you get a job? Pinstripe Potteroo, in my opinion, is the most insane bosses I've ever encountered in the remastered version in the nitro fueled campaign on hard. Even when you see him instantly, he will indefinitely shoot bombs backwards at you rather getting the weapon box. And this is where the classic one becomes way more trivial and easy as it gets. It's pretty much difficult for me to explain. He just always shoots bowling bombs at backwards, so he will ruin your racing line for sure. But it's pretty much easy to pass him as long as you keep your speed up and don't slow down. Whatever you do, just don't slow down. And to the finale of the campaign, adventure mode, whatever. Even if you're on nitro fueled, expect this one to be difficult for you. You just got to earn skills, and you gotta use the techniques that you've learned so far. And most of his weaponry will be juiced up, so you better juice up as well, or else you can never catch up to him. Every single one of his weapons will be juiced up, but the TNTs, however, won't, because he will explode you in the first turn, and then put some nitro right in the turbo pads and the bowling bombs where you're gonna have to avoid, and that's pretty much problematic. And now for Galaxy's Fastest. He will become in the second phase, and he will be always on the hardest setting, either on classic, easy, medium, hard, whatever. And he will always go hard on you. So you gotta put your biggest effort to defeat Oxide for good. And what you've learned so far by trophies, gems, CTR tokens, boss keys, and crystals, which were the purple CTR tokens, and any type of relic element, either sapphire, gold, or platinum. But all of the distinctions for me are platinum. And now for the next one is Arena Explorer. Is you gotta complete a crystal challenge in adventure mode. and it's self-explanatory. There are 20 hidden crystals in one of the 4 battle arenas in Nitro Court, Skull Rock, Rampage, Ruins, and Rocky Road. And the easiest one, if you are struggling in Skull Rock, is Nitro Court. Because Nitro Court, you have plenty of time to get every one of the crystals, and you have approximately 2.5 minutes. So you have 100% able to find the crystals in the area in Nitro Court. So start going into the center of the area, and then go outside the area and get all the crystals from there, and so on. Even though you have infinite bombs, that gives the biggest advantage. So if you're struggling with the free areas, try and learn the curve of the battle arenas and find the crystals at your own pace. Skull Rock is usually the first one that is mandatory to do, but if the beginners struggle, the Nitro Court will be probably the best one for you. And Spare Chance is the next trophy, and it's pretty much easy. You just gotta collect the letters Z, T, and R letters, and you gotta come in first place to win the token. If you miss any 1, 2, or 3 of the letters, you're just gonna have to start all over again. And it's pretty much easy. If you do Rouge Tubes, for example, just collect the letters, then try your best to come first place and win a token, and which goes to the next one called Sprinter. Winning a relic in adventure mode is pretty easy. If you go into Crash Cove, you'll get a relic easily, and you only have under a minute to get it. It's pretty much very easy to do. You just got the lowest time you can, and if you are able to get it perfectly, you'll get a 10-second award to minus it, so you can get either a sapphire or better result if you're a beginner. And if you are a expert or anything, then you should able to get a platinum. And remember, platinums on the remaster very different into the mechanics of 1999. Sorry, I'm getting blurry here. I need to catch a moment. The next one is Booyah Grandma. Booyah Grandma is you gotta win a cup race, which is basically you gotta earn a gem in a gem cup in Gemstone Valley by collecting 4 CTR tokens in any of your favorite, or you can collect them all of the CTR tokens of your choice, and pick any of the gem you want you can have. And the shortest gem and the shortest way to get a gem at the moment would be, I would say, green, because green has shorter tracks, but Cortex Castle, however, and Polar Pass is a little bit long, but they do have good consistent time performances, because the first 2 tracks, Rouge Tubes and Cocoa Park, are too short. So it's easy if you do the green gem cup. And the silver trophy, which is the relic collector, is you can earn all relics in adventure mode just to unlock a sapphire skin. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. Just defeat every single sapphire relic, and then that way you should able to get the trophy, as long as you defeat all sapphire times. It doesn't have to be gold or platinum, just defeat all relic challenges if you're that talented to get the gold and platinum skins. And then I'll salute you for that, because I got platinum skin myself, and I got all platinum relics in all 4 of the save files 20 years ago almost. And then we're moving on to the next one, which is gem collector, which is easy. You just gotta collect every CTR token in adventure mode, participate every gem cup, and then for the most points to win gems and so on. And it's pretty much easy and self-explanatory. And as I said, for token collector, as it follows for gem collector. Photo finish is probably easy for nitro fueled on hard mode. But if you can do it in local screen, then in local screen it's the easy way. Do it in the last lap on Crash Cove, and then time about a millisecond quick. Like, press the accelerating button right where your friend or your local friend is, or you can use a spare pad of your own if you don't have a friend with you. And as long as it lines up in a straight way where you both or should I say 2 carts are facing in the same line, let your other car go first. Let your car go first and let the other car go with it at the same millisecond, about 0.1 at least. And if it goes to 0.3, then you should be able to get the trophy. So people I've been talking to say they had no issues with it, but I have. So I had it by adventure mode, and it seems pretty much a complex trophy in the game so far. And also, which is the next one which I dislike in this game, which is boom. You gotta hit 2 opponents in a single bowling bomb, and the bowling bomb, in my opinion, is probably the worst, because its velocity bends over onto its climate. Because I used to be doing so much well with the and they do it in good straight lines, and in potent they're supposed to home at the single direction at the opponent. But the bowling bomb isn't too mixed with 2 different rules. Like, if it's launching straight, it just goes into its trajectory on any direction it wants. But when it comes to its potent, when it reaches 10 Wumpa Fruit, it will aggressively home to your opponent if close enough. And that's what I don't like about the bowling bomb. It's a piece of crap. And now for the next one is doing a super boost. A super boost is if you perform say like a turbo slide, perform the turbo pad and press the power slide button, and Rouge Tubes will be your best example to do this. And now we're going to move on. Roger is easy. Commonly people do this with Ripperoo or Papo if they are fast enough. As personally for me, Ripperoo is the easiest one, because all you have to do, just don't get hit by the boss's infinite weapons, as it's self-explanatory. And now for the you gotta do continuous drifting and so on, drifting and drifting and drifting. and getting Master Drifter included, it's easy on Coco Park. You just gotta do like 5 turbo boost charges in a row and keep that boost with you without making it and what I mean by this is use a beginner character to do this. Just swerve the drifting corners left and right, and then power slide on whatever direction you want to go, L1, R1, depending on what hand you are, and press the opposite button to do a power slide, to do a perfect turbo boost about at least 5 times. So that way your drift boosting will be a turbo boost instead of a drift boost constantly. Burning the rubber is easily self-explanatory. You just gotta drift over 500 times. All you have to do, just do some drifting, then the trophy would naturally pop up. The next one is Yeehaw. Well, Yeehaw is you gotta complete the whole campaign on hard, on only using nitro fueled standard rules. On hard mode, on their standard rules, all opponents are potent. They are faster than you, and they will behave aggressively, and they use their weapons very, very aggressive, and you need to use every skill that you've learned so far, and it's recommended that you do 2 playthroughs if you never played much of the game before. And as for Hyperspeed, is the next trophy. Hyperspeed is you gotta finish first where you were in the back of the grid on the last lap. It's best to do this if you're on classic mode, because if you want to get first place, it's best to do this by keeping a 10-1 per fruit, and if you got an orb or any type of mask, then it's best to use that, and keep up the pace, and don't let the leader stray too far, however, because it can happen, and if you're unlucky enough to get to first place, just keep trying and trying and trying. Just do not hit the person in 7th place. Just let them drive mindlessly, and then naturally use your skills. And now we're gonna move on to rear viewed. Rear viewed is incoming missiles that you gotta block, and the list is the beakers, a crate, a TNT, nitro, and it's also a bowling ball. So 3 weapons to block missiles. A beaker and crates are easy enough, but bowling bombs can be a karma. What I did for a bowling bomb is it's easy if you do it with battle mode, because on racing it's pretty much bad luck and you can't explode on time, even if you can't see where you're going during a race, even if you're getting hit by a missile, because I use crates to block the missiles, including beakers, so it's pretty much hard not to see where the missiles are going to aim at you. So the beakers and crates at races, and bowling bombs, put the 3 missiles and a single missile and 3 bowling bombs in any battle location, and then try and, if you got 3 bowling bombs, try and spam backwards as long as the missile gets a little bit close to you, and then it should be okay. And the new Time Master, which is the next. silver trophy. You gotta defeat all Dr. Nefarious trophy time trial modes, and there's 31 that you need to beat. And it does not count for Retro Stadium, which is confirmed. So, and yes, I did not do Retro Stadium before the other time trials, and which is good to know. So basically, you just gotta do 31 of the 32 CT, R, C and K tracks, but the additional content will not count, even when it comes to the future seasons of CTR Grand Prix and all that such. And right now we're going to the next one, which is the Gas Moxian Slug, which is beat or nitrous oxide. Again, you just got to be consistent. You gotta keep your boost and just do not screw your race up, because if you plan to stop and you screw your race up, then your chances of beating Oxide's time is pretty slim. And the Retro Stadium again does not count for it. So as same again with Nefarious trophy times. If you get this trophy, you'll get digital trophy skin as a treat. For natural, you can't use power-ups, which is an easy trophy. You just gotta behave like you play as you do time trial. It's pretty easy enough. So just do not use a single weapon. So avoid hitting a weapon use button. And Nitrostalgia, you gotta finish first place in every single 31 tracks. So again, Retro Stadium doesn't count. 31 tracks that are there, you just gotta finish first place. You can do it. You can first do it in the cup races in local arcade, and then follow it on with single races that weren't for Crash Nitro Kart tracks. So I think it was Clockwork Wumper, I believe. And the next one is Can't Hide From Me, which is you gotta successfully land 3 missiles from a triple missile. And it's usually rare for races, but I might be wrong, but it's uncommon. But it's common for battle mode, because on battle mode you can land 3 triple missiles against your opponent. And if you want to bully the person who's giving you a hard time on online races, you can just bully them by hitting them 3 times while you're overlapped in an online race. But it will pay no much displeasure as you. And the next one is Weapon Technician. Is use every power, the Battle Arena power-ups. And the Battle Arena power-ups, in case you never noticed, are Invincibility, the Super Turbo Pad, the Super Engine Turbo Boost, and that's pretty much it. Those are the only 2 that you need to use. And now for the other hidden trophies, which was also hidden from Adventure Mode 2, which is the shortcuts. The Dungeon Vaulter is using the shortcut on Cortex Castle. So I'm going to explain this as short as possible. When you enter the castle on the last few turns, while you're jumping down the stairs, you will see this little tiny bridge with a small gap. Get into turbo boosting and reach to a high boost as possible, or its max boost. And if you time your jump well, or you can use a turbo boost weapon or a mask, you can jump into the small bridge, and you can the Cortex Castle shortcut trophy that way. So as long as you land into that shortcut, the trophy will pop up. And this one is glitchy, so I know high chance of people have got it, but I had all the shortcut trophies right before Arctic Hurdler, which is a hidden trophy, popped up, because that trophy glitched when I took a shortcut when I was passing one of my friends inside the Polar Pass shortcut, and I attempted it 3 times and the trophy did not pop up. So when I carried on adventure mode and single race, I went to do the Blizzard Bluff shortcuts. So for wintertime off-roading, you gotta use all 4, yes 4, not 2, 4 of the Blizzard Bluff shortcuts. In the start of the Blizzard Bluff, there should be this little circle of the first turn, and it usually slows you down, but if and you should be able to get your speed unless you got boost. So that's one shortcut you pass. And then after the 3 ramps by the ice pool, take a huge turn on your left, and you need some high speed on this one. And if you miss it, it won't count as a shortcut, and it has to be in the same race in one go. And it doesn't really matter, just as long as you stay in last place. Get a mask, jump as high as you can, and then this is where it becomes tense. The last 2 shortcuts are the 2 fences where there is a large hairpin turn, which is impossible to get unless you use a turbo or a mask to jump through. So what I am going to explain is get the mask, jump on the first or second fence, and then jump through that other fence around, and then the trophy should unlock for you. And it doesn't matter if you want to start your race and win appropriately. So all you want to do is get the 4 shortcuts at the same race, which means it has to do it in one go, and you cannot finish the race. And Papo Pyramid's shortcut called Pyramid Parkour, which is a secret trophy. You gotta use all of the Papo's shortcuts at the same race. So remember, touching the square of Papo's counts, and there's the left side of the shortcut which can be jumped, or you can risk it by using Papo's head on the square if you got enough boost to jump all the way onto the left side where there is 3 or 4 Wumpa fruit. And then the last shortcut is the hairpin, and the remastered version has done a pretty much good job to avoid people to take it into the biggest corner cutting way, and it's still possible by going into its take it into the middle. If you got enough boost, try and jump to your right, but not too much on your right. Land, and then the trophy should pop up for you. So those are the 4 shortcuts of Papo's Pyramid. And for the next one is Puddle Hopper, which is an easy shortcut. you just got to all you have to do, which is in Crash Cove, is buy the 2 1 per crates. If you got boost, try use a turbo boost, or you can use a mask. Jump into the puddle, use a boost or a mask, and press the hot button, and then you'll get into a shortcut in Crash Cove, and then the trophy should pop up. And for half pipe karting, which is another secret, is using the shortcut on Sewer Speedway. And what you need for that is you need to land on the top of the shortcut, and you need some high top speed or use a mask to get into it. And people struggle a lot on this one, because what I've seen from some certain streamers, because they go too slow and you can't actually make it to the shortcut because you don't have enough top speed to reach up there, because you need more turbo if you want to get up there. And originally you need about at least 2 turbo slide boosts to reach up there. And be sure you maintain the speed, and if it drops, then I don't know what to say, because it's pretty much karma. And now we go into Let Me In. I'm not sure if it confirms with the mask this time, because I know it confirms it in the old school game. Any projectile weapon will let you in the shortcut as long as you open it. And once you're in there, you should able to get there. And I'm not sure if it's confirmed as common, or if the trophy will not work, is going into time trial and use the shortcut that way, or going into a relic race and use the shortcut that way. But I'm not that sure. If anyone wants to confirm that with me, let me know in the comments. And next we're going into Minecart Inc. Minecart Inc is easy. I used like every ounce of boost without. You have to get the shortcut on Dragon Mines without being crushed by the minecart. So if you are like a little bit closer dense to the end of the minecart, then you should able to reach, I would say, by at the top of the circle wood of the track, and that should be where you're ending the shortcut. And that will be like the next secret trophy, which is I know the way. Like, do you know the way? I know the way. Do you know the way? Anyway, besides that stupid infamous meme, I know the way, which is you gotta earn all shortcut trophies. So there is one trophy I want to warn you, which is Arctic Hurdler. Is a glitch sometimes, so attempt doing it as many times, and I recommend you do it in single race on 7 laps. So it was glitchy for me, and I don't know why it didn't count for me in adventure mode. And same goes with online races, and that's how ridiculous it was. And as for juiced up, just the same as before on the previous trophy, you gotta use the power-ups once with 10 1 per fruit. Like the ballerina, use invincibility and turbocharge, so you can get the trophy that way. And what's rare is people don't have the juiced up time clock and the juiced up orb. Those are the 2 rare items that people don't have as juiced. Just as long as you stay in a terrible place like 8th or 7th, whatever, then you should able to be fine. Just get 10 Wumpa Fruit, use the weapons, and then you should be able to get the trophy. And Unstoppable. Unstoppable is a self-explanatory trophy. You just gotta sustain your whole boost throughout the whole lap. And what's easy for that trophy? That's easy. You just gotta sustain it without letting the boost go away. If you are competing for Oxide's time, then this trophy is self-explanatory. So it shouldn't be that hard. You just gotta be sure that you have the boost with you, and if you collide, then the trophy won't count. The Dominator. You gotta win a match on every type of battle mode. It's easy if you do it on a local arcade and put it on easy mode. So it's self-explanatory. Just follow the game rules and then win a match on every type of battle mode. And it's pretty much simple. Get Off Me is a simple one, and the masks would give you the hint. So this one's self-explanatory to get a TNT off your head, and you gotta hop at least 6 times. And the Alchemist, you gotta throw a thrown beaker power up. And it's easy if you're doing it on online races or harder races on Nitro Fueled. It's pretty difficult to do it in battle, so it's best to do it on difficult races. And it's not that easy to get a good score of throwing the beaker on the desired direction that you need. And that's how I roll. Just customize your ride. Pretty easy one to do. Just select any cart or whatever you got unlocked. Some stickers, or put some decal, and then the trophy should pop up, and it's an easy self-explanatory trophy. Is everyone here? And that trophy is easy. You just gotta unlock all characters in the original rooster, and people will get Entropy as the last one. So Entropy is easy to get. You just gotta defeat all 31 of his track records. And as for the original rooster, it's self-explanatory again. It's all in adventure mode. And Oh Shiny. Oh Shiny is easy. And just to forewarn you, if you have done the first 4 challenges on the Crash Team battles, you don't have to do them on the... If you've done them in adventure mode, Nitro Court, Rampage Ruins, or Rocky Road, and Nitro Court Skull Rock, then you don't have to do them again. Just to clarify it, you still gotta do the other 3 battle arenas that was meant to be for cup races on easy, medium, hard. Like Parking Lot, which was difficult for me in my opinion, the North Bowl, and the Lab Basement. And CNK has extras as well, because I do not know much about Crash Nitro Kart battle arenas, so they're also not that hard to find as well. So it's pretty much easy. Just get up to 20 crystals. Doesn't matter what difficulty you pick. Just as long as you get all crystals, you win. And that's pretty much all the trophies to get. Whoa, you got all of the trophies. 0.1, which I'm the 0.1 of them. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for the walkthrough of Invoice of Commentary of nearly 45 minutes of self-explanatory of these trophies as soon as I can try to explain. And if anyone wants to clarify any other easy or should I say a different method, any kind of way to get these trophies as I explained it, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching for the walkthrough of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled trophy walkthrough guide on commentary. And thanks to Beanox for remastering Naughty Dog's best childhood game, and looking forward to the season of the remastered version. So hit the like, hit the ding dong bell, and see you guys in the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled uploads, which I'll be doing very soon. So